Good morning. It's 1:11 in the morning on 1:11. Interesting how purple in the purple light is blue. you know, there's truly no high or low when we express and hold love in our hearts and space for transgressions and all the atrocities and the things recorded in history. And ultimately, what has been documented is the least and the greatest of all things, as those things can be brought up eternally, and to erase them is a curse and a blessing in itself, because history can never, the body holds memory, both the physical body, god dang, there it is, both the physical body and the material body, where the interesting thing is a mind can get ahead of itself and wreak havoc upon the world in a moment, where the atrocities of one person's decision 1,000 years ago could still be causing wars in countries that have never ended, which could cease in a moment if one person stepped forward and said, "Hey, we're done with that," and everyone believed him. So let's check our energy this morning. Hope everyone's doing well. I know I've seen you before. You're not how you think you are. So much greater. And I see that in each of you. The soul of Saint Germain. So, one of the greatest strengths one could have is to maintain an aversion to force, which is a very chaotic place to rest at. It can create a vacuum at the same time and requires a lot of strength. Where we're taught that strength is something that one holds that protects and keeps everything away, like big muscles, and then nobody will mess with you. When in another way of seeing that, then it could look like, oh, you got a fancy car, then you must have a little, and it's all perspective. But there is something more than perspective, too. And perspective can always change. So it's important that we find a better way to look at things, and the world can change in a matter of minutes. Just the sun comes out and brightens up the day, and you're just like, huh, man. Or suddenly a chill sets in. You're like, I don't know what just happened in the world, but I don't know, I feel uneasy about things. And so we each have to maintain a positive outlook at the same time as go through those emotions and feelings and dig deep so that when we're feeling fear and lack, that we can be in that vacuum where the strength is standing as a rock within, that nothing can get through. It all just bounces off. And at the same time, we can look death in the face, whatever characterization and mask you want to put on that, and keep looking forward and smiling through it all. And that's where the strength is in power and self-defense. By claiming one needs to defend themselves, it is both an act of war and weakness at the same time, where defense is a mechanism built within. And so there is essentially no defending, because that's covering one's privates in fear. And to be ready to shoot is also a weakness in revealing that the other has your dick in their hand and could cut it off at any moment, because the karma you'll receive by pulling that trigger. So stoicism is really the balance there that each aspires to be, I believe. The integration of the self. And each of us is that self. Coming forward, going through all the phases, unlike the image where we see like a baby or a Neanderthal and evolving all the way from a monkey to a Homo sapien. That's really an awkward representation. Same with like going from a baby to, oh, look, now you have your house and your wife and your kids, you're evolving, and then all of a sudden, okay, now you go into decline. There's this dead end. That it goes from the best when you're useless and brand new, and then the best when you're at the top of your adolescence and you have full potential and everything you need to go forward and infinite paths. And then the best when you've acquired your career and your place of status and your security. And then the best once your kids have moved out and are grown and healthy and your house is paid off. And the best when you've had a wonderful life and you can afford, you have a business that's flourishing by itself, and you live in $1 million house, and but it's your kid's house now, and you have your master bedroom and are a guest, and the boss and the baby is still in control. And the best once one is free of all that in death, or one can see all of those as the weakest position as well. It's however you choose to see it. The best is always right now. if we can experience it together. Witnessing the chaos in the world can run shivers down our spines and make us feel fearful, especially for our families. But they're just an extension of us. As me, as the individual. And so each individual's duty is to uphold the vibration for the family and all the extensions thereof, because it's just one head and all are heirs upon it. But not one hair could take that head. And every strand can be plucked and have the full DNA to make a whole nother being. And not one hair could hold that head ever again as it is. So it's very important to continue to learn and evolve and to take hold of your divine right, your individuality, and your growth to never stop evolving and hold your place in this world as unique and equal as the step above all others, one step below on the line wherever you're at. Because a high position is shaky and a low position is maybe stable but hard to get it out of. It's important for us to break the patterns of the past, which include the words, groups, and associations of lack and limitation, which we can see as positive things we're holding as tradition. And be flexible in those as well, because there's no wash of just throwing something away, and there's no just, I got a new one. And that may seem difficult to understand, but truly that's the state of a full unified body. It's just about rewriting the future. Because the past sets up a standard for what's going to happen. It automatically, like numbers, then once you have zero, well, it's gonna build itself up from zero. Well, if it comes across another zero, boom, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and have infinite, and it's gonna get to, so it's gonna go to the next number, and then it becomes overpowered and starts to invade the environment. And this is one thing we can see in nature. So how to be a multitude of one and an absolute of none. We do that by connecting with nature and other people who are highly sensitive rather than being too analytical. Because knowledge has limitations. The first limitation is, as soon as you know the gas price, then you go around anytime it comes up, oh, it's $3.99. It's $3.99, but you're not looking at it. It may have changed, so you're a liar, or you may be a liar. You don't know. And secondly, now you're stuck in a loop where you're thinking about the gas price, and that's irrelevant. Which is why it's important to have empathy and to stay in an empathic and open vibration, sensing the needs of others and balancing the needs of our own for the world, for our home, for our family to prosper. And whenever anybody's excited, one or another, to be that stoic figure and to be the caring figure, but not to take upon too much of that upon ourselves. And the great thing and the sad thing about a powerful emotion, like the mind, once it starts clicking that mouse button, then it's gonna go, kill them all, right? One time somebody did this to me, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And it just runs, and then I don't know what happened. What was that? What was it talking about? I'm tired now. Thanks. And it goes to sleep. It changes. And so it's important for us to get those things out. And if there isn't somebody to get it out to, then we have to do it to ourselves, with ourselves. Whether it's writing it out, speaking it out, or accepting others to do that is a very powerful, loving thing to do. And not to take it on. Just absorb it as and transmute it as a powerful experience. And then that person's relieved and you gained all this extra oomph and it dissipates, it's gone. What a wonderful feeling. The good thing is, I see you're already doing it. And each person I pass by, I see the changes in it working like an alchemy set. And I see from a distance it looks like, oh, there's just nothing going on that table. There's a bunch of beakers and stuff. And when you get close, you're like, oh wow. So then there's this liquid in this one, and it's slowly bubbling up over here, and it's dropping in here. Oh, look, it's separating, and you got this at the bottom, and this at the top, and it's pulling the vapor off over here, and it's filtering out and collecting over here this pure element, and it may seem that people's heads are down, but I see the growth happening because change. And sometimes that's the best way that change can happen. Because it's scary when everybody's upset the same day and just gotta say, oh, my car broke down, da da da, snowed, and da 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 da. Or, oh man, it's a great day. Yeah, it's a great day. Yeah, it's a great day. Uh huh. Because on those days, it's almost like nothing actually happens. Those are the weak places. and experiencing the exchange of that being released, and then the opposite to it, this lull, or I don't know what to call it, limerence space. That's not quite the right word. Is really where the change happens. It's in a gap period, which is why sleep is so important as the ultimate version of that. But what we put into or seek needs to be what we energize into it first. So, like they say, it's not good to go to bed angry especially with our spouse. But it is, in some ways, it's best to go to bed weeping and feeling maybe like you could do better, maybe like you've been wronged, and kind of returning to that infantile state, but letting go of the blame and to fall asleep crying inside somehow is better than to go to bed angry, because then in your sleep you end up that battle rages on and nothing's solved usually. But going to bed in that state of perceived weakness is like being cleansed, where all of a sudden the process completes itself and you wake up with sometimes an absolutely different outlook. Sacrifice can look like a lot of different things. Sacrifice is asking somebody for $5. Sacrifice is giving that $5. Sacrifice is spending that $5. Sacrifice is looking at it and putting it in your pocket, throwing it on the ground, setting it on fire. But what was $5 really worth? The sacrifice is knowing the value and to change one's system of what value is. And that's an important sacrifice that really requires no sacrifice, but it requires the process, which builds itself upon under a repeated lens of looking at ourselves and others and allowing ourselves to go through all these emotions and understandings and misunderstandings of the past in order to get to wipe the lens. So even though everyone has eyes, everyone sees in different colors. Just like I'm wearing purple right now, but the light's purple. Everyone sees in different colors, and we're all looking at the same thing. Most of the time, it looks blind to most people, but the process is going on inside. See number 24. Okay, it's 24. What does that mean? Next person says, "Oh, that's my birthday. I was born on 24th, or Tennessee 24th." Like, oh, that's me. Next person goes, "Oh, 24th. Oh shit, that's my anniversary. Oh goddamn, I'm late. Oh god, I gotta go get something." So it can mean anything. So it's important we confront ourselves. to be able to. We're in union, whether you like it or not, because it's not something you or I can push upon each other. It's acceptance that happens within, and nothing can change that. So what's I love you? It goes unsaid. It's understood. We all have family members, even if we're alone, that are dark and perceived as evil. The mind in and of itself is that darkness from the pit. It needs to be confronted. It's not out there in the world. That's just an expression of it, an illusion. Same knows Maya. And then can enter this space. None has ever struck me and forced me to hit them back reflexively. But in the mind, each can see injustices that never happened. And that can be a real issue. Which is why it's important that we spend time alone. If we're going to spend time with others, and not to just spend time with those that make us like go to sleep. Somebody who is truly pouring love upon us and do the same. Because ultimately we do it for ourselves. And that's a different take on selfishness. Because a sense of love is an endless bank account opposite the debt system. When you live yourself, and everyone who comes across you, all of a sudden is heightened. And then when it's expressed right back, then yours is heightened. And then you express it back and theirs is heightened. But neither can necessarily take from each other. It has a lot to do with our openness to receive and an openness to give and acceptance. Each of us has been limited by our upbringings or the corner we ended up in, one way or another, due to a career path, a life choice, but it all is mind at the same time. If that's the case, what's mind if we can change with a single thought? I believe that's the symbol of Y and C and the yod or apostrophe or the concept of DNA and man with the last chromosome, the littlest one and the different one makes one a man. But that's weird. It's already set in the DNA. It seems. From the moment it entered the egg, didn't it? And the two joined. But then, how did it wait till the last month to pick, based upon the outside conditions and the vibration, whether it was going to be a boy or girl? If that was already set in motion. If it was, so then all things are static. And change is imminent. Stagnation and limitation actually doesn't seem to exist. Then why is that such a prevalent outlook and state of the world? Or the opposite of destruction and lack? When those are the least likely states to exist anywhere, especially for oneself. If sleep or just have your eyes open and sitting still breathing is the perfectly balanced state where everything in nature exists eternally in balance. And there's no force as the ultimate driving force. So I challenge establishments with this approach as we are. So that it may be as it is so. I'll see you all the time.